one of my favorites, and I laugh because I've done it myself and I know other people that do it, is we call overanalysis, right? Or you may have heard it as paralysis by analysis. You know, the person that's always getting ready to get ready. And we're doing this unconsciously, guys, a lot of times. Or some of us may do it consciously because we're avoiding making the call. I remember listening to an old Zig Ziglar audio tape from years ago, and he shared about a salesperson that said he drove 25 miles to a house to knock on the door. The person wasn't home, and then he drove 25 miles back. The whole thing took him 2 hours, and I'm paraphrasing, but he considered that as working for 2 hours. I don't really know about that. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's the greatest metaphor, but a lot of us do find other things to kind of get in the way so that we're not making our calls. I remember watching a salesperson pick up the phone. He looked at, first off, he looked at a listing. And before he called, he went and he pulled the public record on that property, found out who owned it. He did a little bit of research on that property, found out how much it was worth. He ran a quick market analysis. He looked at the history. He spent about 20 minutes only to call the person, and the person said, listen, I already hired someone else, and hung up on him. Will he ever get that 20 minutes back? No, of course not. Of course not. So the point of the matter is, I'm not saying go in blind, but what if he spent 30 seconds or 60 seconds and then made the call? Well, again, he'll never get that 20 minutes back. So where does this show up? This shows up in your numbers. If you know your goal is to make 20 contacts in one day, or 50 contacts, or whatever, however many conversations or contacts you have, and you're coming in real short, a lot of times it's because of this. Because either our conversations are way too long, or we're just not having enough conversations. So here's what you're going to do now. I want you to start tracking your conversations. Track your numbers. How many contacts am I making? And track also how long are my conversations. And if you notice, my conversations are always like 15, 20 minutes. Well, you probably got to cut those conversations back. Maybe you can start off by cutting them back to 10 minutes and then eventually get them down to 5 minutes. And then if somebody's not interested, there's no reason we need to be on the phone with them more than maybe a minute max, 30 seconds to a minute. So really pay attention to those numbers, guys, and focus on improving those numbers.